There's a quiet strength in a man who knows himself, not just in the way he speaks or moves, but in the stillness beneath his choices, a kind of anchored calm that doesn't need to shout to be heard. In the chaos of modern life and love, that strength can be hard to hold on to. Emotions twist us into knots, expectations blur our vision, and we often find ourselves lost in the pursuit of approval, connection, or simply not being alone. But what if the answer isn't in chasing more affection, more attention, more validation, but in subtracting the noise? What if true power in relationships begins with the quiet, steady voice within Stoic philosophy doesn't give us romantic fairy tales or quick-fix dating advice? It offers something deeper, a blueprint for self-respect, a reminder that no matter how beautiful, magnetic, or compelling another person might be, we never hand over the pen to our story. It stays in our hands always. You don't owe the world your past. You don't have to unwrap every scar or regret just to be understood. In fact, wisdom lies in knowing what to keep sacred. Sharing too much, too soon, can feel like opening a vault to someone who hasn't earned the key. Your past, with all its storms and triumphs, is what made you resilient. Guard it like a fortress. Trust doesn't mean full exposure, it means discernment. And when you speak of your journey, let it be from a place of strength, not a plea for sympathy. But ask yourself this: how often do we reveal our wounds just to feel worthy? How much of our story do we give away, hoping to be seen? What if being truly seen begins when we stop trying so hard to explain ourselves? We live in a world that shames solitude. Scroll through your phone long enough, and it feels like everyone is coupled, adored, chosen. But there's a deep kind of dignity in sitting with your own company and not flinching. The Stoics knew that being alone doesn't mean being lonely, it means being whole. A man who fears solitude will cling to relationships not out of love, but desperation. And desperation makes for poor judgment. If your peace depends on someone else's presence, you're not in love, you're in survival mode. Real connection isn't built on fear. It's born from abundance, from choosing someone because they add to your life, not because they fill a void. Time is the one currency we can never earn back. Seneca warned that life isn't short. We just waste much of it. Pouring your hours into someone who doesn't value you is like watering a plant in a pot full of holes. You'll drain yourself, and still, nothing will grow. Reclaim your minutes, your mornings, your moments of silence. Carve out space to become more of who you are, not less. Relationships are important. Yes, but they are not an excuse to abandon your own evolution. Every hour you give away is an hour you can't spend building the life you want. Choose wisely. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine waking up 10 years from now, wiser, stronger, more fulfilled. Who is by your side? More importantly, who are you when no one else is around? We live in an age of constant comparison, where praise feels like oxygen and silence feels like failure. But Stoicism teaches us to admire ourselves first, not in arrogance, but in quiet self-recognition. You've survived things no one knows about. You've kept going when quitting felt easier. Every small win, waking up early, setting a boundary, choosing discipline over comfort is a triumph. Celebrate that. You don't need a cheerleader. You need a mirror and a moment of truth. If you can learn to be proud of yourself without applause, you've tapped into a deeper kind of joy. And still, relationships test us. They ask us to give our time, our attention, sometimes our sanity. But here's the truth: burning yourself out to keep someone else warm isn't noble. It's self-abandonment. Your mental health isn't a negotiable asset. No person, no romance, no thrill is worth the cost of your peace. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. When someone asks you to shrink so they can shine, walk away. You weren't born to be a dim version of yourself for someone else's comfort. Picture your peace like a fire in your chest. Would you let someone stomp it out just to avoid conflict, or would you guard it fiercely, knowing it's the light that keeps you alive? People-pleasing wears many masks: politeness, compromise, selflessness. But the truth is, every time you say yes when you mean no, you chip away at your own soul. The Stoics called for harmony between our actions and our values. That means living in alignment, even when it's uncomfortable. Don't twist yourself into shapes to fit someone else's mold. The world doesn't need another agreeable shadow. It needs men who are real, flawed, honest, grounded. Be one of them. Say what you mean what you say. And if someone walks away because of that, let them. Too often, we're told that love means sacrifice, and sometimes it does, but not the kind that demands we lose ourselves. Don't trade your dreams for someone else's detour. If you find yourself abandoning your path just to keep someone beside you, pause. That's not love. That's compromise turned into self-erasure. True partnership should sharpen your direction, not blur it. You were not put here to play a background role in someone else's play. Walk your road, even if it means walking alone for a while. Is the life you're living right now one that your younger self would be proud of? Or have you drifted so far from your purpose that you don't recognize your own reflection? There's a myth that romance should consume us, that if we truly care, we'll drop everything and everyone else. But your friends, your family, they're the roots that have held you down through the storms. Don't neglect them for fleeting passion. Reconnect. Laugh with your brother. Call your mother. Sit in silence with an old friend. These are not side characters, they are your pillars. And if someone in your life demands that you burn those bridges for their comfort, it's time to question what kind of foundation that relationship stands on. Obsession is the enemy of balance. Marcus Aurelius warned us not to become overly attached to anything, including people. When love turns into fixation, you stop seeing clearly. You orbit them like a satellite, forgetting that you have a sun of your own. Don't revolve around someone else's desires at the cost of your own voice. Step out of the shadows. Stand still. Let the light hit you. Your worth is not measured by how tightly you hold on. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is let go. Right now, in this moment, you have a choice. To continue bending, shrinking, chasing, or to rise. To center yourself, to say, I am enough. As I am enough. The path of the Stoic man isn't cold or emotionless. It's grounded, it's clear-eyed. It's filled with love, but not at the expense of self. Stoicism invites you to love wisely, to give with intention, to walk beside someone, not behind them. And when the time comes to choose between their approval and your truth, you'll know which road to take. So here's your invitation not to withdraw from relationships, but to elevate them. To approach connection not as a way to escape yourself, but as a reflection of how fully you've come home to who you are. Because when you build love on a foundation of self-mastery, presence, and clarity, it no longer threatens your peace. It amplifies it. And that is the kind of love worth waiting for.